Landing on the USS Enterprise in 1940, the perilous dance of naval aviation. The footage you're about to see is real, unedited, and takes you aboard the legendary USS Enterprise, CV-6, during training operations in 1940. It captures the raw challenges faced by US Navy pilots as they attempted one of the most dangerous maneuvers in military aviation, landing on a moving aircraft carrier. This was no ordinary landing strip. It was a narrow, pitching deck in the middle of the vast Pacific, and every successful touchdown was a testament to skill, nerve, and endurance. The USS Enterprise was a floating fortress, a marvel of engineering at the forefront of American naval power. Known as the Big E, it was a symbol of resilience and innovation, stretching over 800 feet in length, with a flight deck barely 100 feet wide. For pilots, it was both a lifeline and a constant challenge. The deck was a small target on an ever-moving sea, demanding absolute precision. A slight miscalculation could send a plane careening into the ocean or crashing into the barriers. The Enterprise was not just a ship. It was a proving ground for the Navy's determination to dominate the skies and seas. Landing on the Enterprise was an exercise in controlled chaos. The ship was in constant motion, rising and falling with the swells, and the deck was never still. Pilots relied heavily on visual cues, guided by the sharp, precise signals of the landing signal officer, LSO, who stood at the edge of the deck, waving paddles to direct the incoming planes. These LSOs, often called paddles, were the unsung heroes of every landing. Their judgment and quick reflexes could mean the difference between a safe touchdown and disaster. For the pilots, every approach began with a mix of adrenaline and anxiety. They lined up their aircraft, eyes locked on the tiny strip of deck ahead, compensating for wind, waves, and the ship's movement. The closer they got, the narrower their margin for error became. As the plane neared the deck, its tail hook had to snag one of the arrestor wires stretched across the surface. If the hook missed, the pilot had mere seconds to power up and lift off before running out of deck space. Success was celebrated with a deep sigh of relief. Failure often meant catastrophe. The Enterprise's deck crew worked tirelessly to keep operations running smoothly. These men, clad in colorful shirts that denoted their roles, darted across the deck amidst spinning propellers and taut arrestor cables. They cleared wreckage, refueled planes, and prepared the next aircraft for takeoff, all while the ship's engines roared beneath them. The danger they faced was constant, but so was their efficiency. Each second saved meant another plane could land or launch, a critical factor in the high-stakes world of carrier aviation. The challenges of these operations were heightened by the limitations of the era. Cockpit instruments were rudimentary, offering little beyond basic navigation tools. Pilots had to rely on their training, instincts, and the LSO's guidance to complete their landings. The aircraft themselves were powerful, but far from forgiving. Machines like the F-4F Wildcat and the Douglas TBD Devastator required steady hands and sharp reflexes to control, especially in the unpredictable conditions of the Pacific. By 1940, the shadow of war loomed large, and the Navy knew that every landing was preparation for the battles to come. Japan's expansion across the Pacific was becoming an undeniable threat, and the Enterprise was among the carriers training to meet it. These exercises weren't just about refining techniques. They were about building the confidence and skill needed for survival in combat. Every successful landing was a step closer to readiness. Every crash, a harsh lesson in what could go wrong. The footage you are about to see captures this era of naval aviation with startling authenticity. It shows the moments of triumph and terror, the precision of a well-executed landing, and the chaos of a crash. You'll witness the relentless determination of the pilots and the tireless work of the deck crew, all against the backdrop of an uncertain world teetering on the brink of war. This is more than just a glimpse into the past. It's a reminder of the courage and resilience that defined an entire generation. These were the men who set the stage for the pivotal battles of World War II, their training aboard the USS Enterprise, preparing them to face the unrelenting challenges of Pearl Harbor, Midway, and beyond.